Ou mettre mon petit fait bac.
Faut t'y faire back toujours.
Attention, poteau ciment, oui. Bah, ouais, quel non, ouais. Bah, ouais.
Please.
Bah, ouais, carton. Fini. Pas encore. Non. Bah, ouais, carton. Il fini. Fini. Oui. Côté. Pas encore. Non.
And I'm going to be taking some shots on that beautiful looking apple right there. But I got 6 loaded up in here right now. I'm going to start off, this is about 3 feet away. See what happens with these blanks. Little bit of powder on there or whatever.
First we're gonna do the 9mm, and on the paper we just started at point blank range, but with this I wanna start a couple yards out and see if it'll actually do any damage from out here, and then we'll step up to point blank range. Wobbled it a little bit, but it didn't do any damage. Let's step up a little bit. Nothing.
It's better that I show you rather than I tell you. See, I came up in Voodoo. I seen the shenanigans. I was behind closed doors with people running con games. So I know what a lot of these mystique in Haitian culture do. See, a lot of you Americans are green. Listen, I made a video yesterday about point, because there's people that try to push the narrative that point will make you impervious to bullets. And I'm telling you, this is very dangerous. This delusional way of thinking will get people hurt out here. Let me explain something to you. In the video, you seen that there was this shaman, mystic man, Wugan, whatever you want to call him, walk or whatever. He pulls out, I believe, a Glock 19 or a Glock 17, and he shoots it at the client or so, whatever. And you see there is no bullet holes. Now, many people say, oh, well, you know, he's protected by the law. Listen, I've seen a lot of shenanigans from people eating glass. I mean, I used to do that, you know, so I know the technique behind it, but I'm not going to say it on the internet. But what I will say, I'll give you a hint: sand. That's it. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you know what I'm saying? You don't. I'm just going to leave it as that. Well, as far as the firearm is concerned, because I don't want you people out here to get hurt, there's a thing called blanks. Some of you guys don't know about firearms like that. There's a thing called blanks. It's actually a shell without the bullet head in it. You can shoot it. Of course, if you're up close, it can cause some damage. But if you step back 5 feet, 6 feet with a low-powered gun, it's not going to penetrate. It's not going to do anything. It's just going to be a powder that's released. How many of you worked in construction? If you worked in construction, then you used a ramset nail gun. It's pretty much like a ramset nail gun. It's an empty cartridge with gases in there or powder in there. And once you pop it, there's nothing that's going to be released at all, period. But I say this, up close person, point blank range, yes, it can cause damage because of the pressure that's being released. But as far as from a 6 foot, 7 foot distance, not causing any damage. So when you see in a video this mystic man, I don't know if it's a Wuga or a Boko, whatever, you see that he steps back. In Creole, he tells the person to step back. When a person steps back, at that distance, there's not going to be effect whatsoever. So for those watching who think those are live bullets, more than likely, it's a blank. And if it's not a blank, they were shooting in the wrong direction, or they possibly shot somewhere else. Outside of that, I wasn't there. I can't say. But what I do know is with the facts that I just presented, with the illustrations of blanks, I would bet more than likely those are actually blanks. Of course, you see live rounds in the beginning, but we don't know what they do off a camera. Just like the movies, they're shooting firearms. You got great muzzle flash and all of that, but those are actually blanks. So, I don't want people jumping up thinking, "Oh my God, this is an illustration of power." Learn more about firearms before you jump to that conclusion. So when it comes down to this voodoo stuff, you got to be careful, because a lot of these guys are con men and con women. You know, and not only that, it damages the understanding of how things actually work. You think you got a point here, and now you go home and think you're invincible, and you try to pick up a 9mm and put to your head, and you pull the trigger, and you're no longer here anymore. I want you guys to snap out of this fantasy way of thinking. This fantasy way of thinking is what they call delusions in the field of psychiatry, excuse me. Now, I want to give you an example here of when reality meets fantasy. Even in MMA, you see this. In Vodou, you have a lot of fantasy people. Like I said, there's two types of people in Vodou, in the Voodoo community, in the Haitian community. In the Haitian community, there are people that know and people who don't know. In the Vodou community, you find the same. You got people that are initiated, that are ignorant as all hell. These people believe in fantasies. And there are those who know what time it is. And those who know what time it is will be playing on the masses, and they'll be playing on those who they initiate. They have their initiates thinking like, oh, you know, they're invincible. They have the initiates believing a whole bunch of wild shit. Because these people are initiates and they never ever experimented themselves, they don't know whether or not it's the truth or not. They just believe things just like fundamental Christians. So when it comes to this thing here, I want you guys to be extremely careful. But like I said, delusions is universal. And I want to give you an example of when reality meets fantasy. I'm going to post a clip of an MMA fighter versus a delusional fantasy Aikido person. MMA is a real life practice. Aikido, some would say, is fantasy. So apply the same logic to the world of firearms in point. As I said before, a point, it will give you the ability to, let's just say, to be missed when someone's firing at you. Or let's just say their vision can be obstructed, or they misfire, or the gun jams. Or before you even get there, you're derailed and put in a place far from where that attacker could possibly be. This is how it works. It's not where, oh, you're impervious to bullets. So, let me drop this footage. I'm out.
Aikido is better than Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Let's go. I'm out. No.
Aikido teaches you to neutralize the threat as quickly as possible, to reduce damage, to stay off the ground. Aikido, when properly trained, has more of the requisite material to survive a real-life altercation than BJJ does.
Keep going. Keep going. Move yourself. Come on. Take it down. Take it down. Come on. Take it down. Come on.